Okay, we'll get started. Thank you for being here this afternoon. My name is Steve Wilson. I'm the Walker County Sheriff, and I want to introduce some people here with me today. I see David Ashburn, the 911 Director, just walked in here to my right. And I've got the Walker County Coroner, Dwayne Wilson, Special Agent James Harris, District Attorney Lee Patterson, Jerry Scott, Special Agent in charge, right behind me there. Got Sheriff John Everett with the Chattooga County Sheriff's Office, also Mark Veazey with the FBI, and I have Scott and Natalie with the Floyd County District Attorney's Office. Am I missing anyone there? And I do that for the purpose of, in case you have questions for them at some point later on. I want to begin by saying 3 years and 6 months ago to the day, Theresa Parker went missing from her home on Cordell Road, just out east of LaFayette. And that 3 years and 6 months, many of us have wondered numerous times where she may be, where she was at. And throughout those 3.5 years, I think many people, it was a daily reminder that she was no longer around with us. Monday afternoon, late afternoon this past Monday in Chattooga County, Georgia, down south of Summerville, skeletal remains were found along the banks of the Chattooga River, off of the Holland-Chattooga Road on Fullerton Road. And Sheriff Everett will be talking about that more in just a moment. Today, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation was able to positively identify those remains as those of Theresa Parker, who went missing 3 years and 6 months ago. We were able to do this through forensic review of the remains, including examining and comparing dental records. I would like to say that the family of Theresa Parker have been notified of the discovery. Earlier this afternoon, myself, along with other officials, met with Theresa's mother and also her sister, and the other sister that lives out of state was also notified by telephone. It's a day that it's difficult to report, but it's also a day I think that the family can somehow receive and put some closure with it. Not only the family, but her friends, her coworkers, and also the people behind me that have worked on this investigation, and the people to my right that have worked on this investigation for 3.5 years and never let up. We never let up looking for her. As a matter of fact, we were looking for her yesterday in a different location. We never gave up hope. We always held out hope that yes, that she might be somewhere, but we always continued to look for her. And today, sadly enough, we have to announce that those skeletal remains are those of Theresa Parker. At this time, I would like to turn the podium over to Special Agent in Charge Jerry Scott. He is the Special Agent in Charge at the Calhoun, Georgia Bureau of Investigation office. As you remember, early on, the very first day, within a few hours, I asked the GBI to take the lead in this investigation because of all the circumstances involved with this complex case. And Special Agent James Harris, who is here to my right, was the very first law enforcement officer to take the case and run with it along with my office. And then Mark Veazey later came on board with the FBI. So I couldn't begin to thank all the people that worked on this case. And I guess that will be for a later day. But today we want to talk about the remains that were found. And at this time, I'll turn it over and give Jerry a moment to say a few words.
As Sheriff Wilson stated, we were still actively pursuing Theresa Parker's location yesterday. In fact, while the we were at the site on the Chattooga River making the recovery of the skeletal remains. We had another crew of GBI agents, Walker County Sheriff Department, and members of the Floyd County DA's office searching a different area. So the task has been ongoing during the past 3.5 years. We're just glad it's finally coming to a closure. The family will get some closure. Also, the jurors in this case now, they'll realize they did the right thing, which is something. There's been a lot of rumors going around that Theresa had left the country, was in a different location, and now those 12 people have realized they did the right thing. A lot of work went into this case. We're just glad the family can get some closure in this matter as we progress. I think Sheriff Everett wanted to speak for just a minute, and then we'll maybe take some questions.
Next will be Chattooga County Sheriff John Everett. It was he and his officers in Chattooga County. For those of you who are not familiar with the geographics of this area, Chattooga County is the county to the south of us in Walker County, and his office was charged with responding to the call of the remains, and also initially began the investigation there in Chattooga County. So at this time, Sheriff John Everett.
I'd like to thank all of you for being here. I thank all the agencies involved in this investigation. Like Sheriff Wilson said, on Monday, September 20th, around 1:19 p.m., we were called by a farmer in this location. He felt like he'd found a possible jawbone. We responded. We secured the scene. We assembled a search team. Around 5:49 p.m. that evening, somewhere around there, we found other skeletal remains. It began to get dark. We secured the scene. We called the GBI in. They assisted us the next morning. Yesterday morning, we found more skeletal remains, and we turned all the evidence over to the GBI. And today we had a positive identification that the remains were those of Miss Parker. That's all we got to say about it at this time. Thank you.